Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of your chakra class. Today, we are talking solar plexus. So, this is actually one of my favorite chakras. I love working with the solar plexus. Um, it is one of, I'll get into it in a second, but it's just one of my favorites. So, I'll tell you why. The solar plexus is called the Manipura, and this is the I can. The solar plexus is located in your navel. It's about 2 inches above your navel. And this chakra is related to your personality, your self esteem, your self worth. And the color that's associated with the solar plexus is yellow. And this is where we get the idea solar, solar, yellow. This is the seat of your soul. This is where your soul sits. It's where it settles and where you actually really discover your autonomy. And this is a place where we experience the depth of who we are and come into self empowerment and self esteem and to find one's purpose. This chakra is developed at age 18 months to 4 years. So if we think back to an 18-month-old and 4-year-old, between that time, those kiddos are exploring. They're discovering who they are. They're kind of breaking free from needing mom for nurture, or not for nurture but for sustenance, right? So they're not needing to feed from mom anymore. They're more independent. They're feeding themselves. It's finding that independence and coming into independence and kind of figuring out who you are. I know a lot of 3 and 4-year-olds who kind of have a little bit of sass and attitude, and that's because they're discovering that, like, oh, I'm a soul, I'm a person, like I can do these things, I have autonomy. So this age is very important for that development of self. When the solar plexus is out of balance, we might feel the need to dominate and control, or have a need for prestige or keeping up appearances. And we function through the world with deep feelings of inadequacy. So we might not feel completely connected with anybody, but wanting to be somebody. We also have no respect for ourselves if this chakra is unbalanced. Maybe have some self-hatred. We also give away our power to others. So this leaves us with no sense of self. We can kind of give ourselves away. And our solar plexus is also a space where we store others' energy. So when we take on other people's energies as an empath, the energies are stored within the solar plexus and can cause many physical and emotional issues. This is again, why I love the solar plexus so much, is because I get to really get a sense of the person when I'm working with them. I really connect deeply with their soul within the solar plexus. And I'm also able to go in and just find all of the residue from the people that they've encountered, and we go through and comb through it and remove it. And it's a vulnerable space, but it also can be very empowering and stoic, and I don't know, it just has this like amazing flexibility or fluidity to it as well. So the chakra, if it's out of balance, there's some things you might experience physically within the body. You generally will have like arthritis or gastric ulcers, or colon intestinal problems. You might have pancreatitis or diabetes, chronic or acute indigestion, anorexia or bulimia, or some eating disorders, sometimes liver or adrenal dysfunction, fatigue, hepatitis. Mental imbalance with the solar plexus may be, so our emotional mental imbalance might be issues with trust or fear or shame, intimidation, self esteem, self confidence, self respect, your care of self and others, responsibility for making decisions, sensitivity to criticism or personal honor. Um, we also can have really low energy if this chakra is off balance, and we might have more of a victim mentality, can be more passive or unreliable. And this can cause the cause of imbalances can be generally come from like when we have repressed anger or issues of self-control, especially in areas of power. So if you're a child in that development stage um, and your parents are kind of pushing on you as like they are more powerful and you're the submissive person, then you're going to have an imbalance within that solar plexus, and then this carries on throughout life. So if you're ever in situations of somebody having power over you, this can cause an imbalance within your solar plexus, because then of course they're taking that power from you, they're taking away your autonomy. Other things that might come up within the solar plexus are shaming. So if somebody's shaming you, again, if it comes from your parents when you're younger and you're growing and they shame you for, doing things, or you're bullied obsessively throughout school, that can have a weight as well. Things that also affect the solar plexus would be abuse of any kind, um, in that domination, that somebody trying to control. We also can inherit shame from our parents. See this very often. We carry the burden of the lineage with us, and this can be from our parents and further down. So it can be a very generational thing. Um, and um, we also can develop um, have imbalances within the solar plexus if we had to be the parent as a child. So if you were growing and you were coming into a space where the parent wasn't really available emotionally, or physically sometimes, and you had to step in as the parent and kind of take over and help mom and dad because they weren't able to do something, or take over and be the parent for the kids in the house if you're the eldest or youngest, or it doesn't matter. um, this is an area where that solar plexus can be a little out of balance as well. So we want to look at ways to work with the solar plexus and do some healing with the solar plexus. One of my favorite things to do is to actually figure out who you are. Um, and also examine a little bit. You can do some meditations and decide, am I deficient or excessive of energy? And if you're deficient, you'll want to slowly build your power back. So you're going to start by eating healthy foods, keeping your blood sugar steady, exercising regularly for at least 30 minutes a day. This helps develop that empowerment, giving yourself the the tools, and like putting something in place for you to start feeling good for yourself and for your body, um, really helps build that empowerment. Playtime, exploring, discovering, these are all things that help the inner child come out. And the inner child, I find, a lot sits within our solar plexus. And if that makes sense, because a lot of that development is 18 months to 4 years. And we do have a big impact during those ages of development. So I generally find the inner child likes to chill in the solar plexus. And when we have time to do our healing, we really should look at inner child healing. And this healing is so profound and so deep. And it sounds really simple, but it is actually really complex and deep. And within our inner child, we can connect with and do some healing with that inner child. And so I always love to give the homework of, I want you to do a meditation, connect with your inner child, but we're also going to play. So I want you to go find something that you used to do as a child that brought you joy. Maybe it's rolling down a hill um, and being silly, or going on a swing set, blowing bubbles, going on a bike ride. Find things that you used to do as a child that you're not doing now. This is where you're going to start finding yourself again in that process. And communicating with your inner child more often. So having conversations with your inner child and connecting with it more will help you with that imbalance. So we also need to work through those big emotions of anger and shame. And this can be done with therapy. I also do this work with timeline therapy with my clients. We work on it as well with energy work and journaling. So as a facilitator, I help you understand the emotion, or we timeline therapy, we go through and clear the emotion. But you also have that homework of like sitting with it. We have to sit with that emotion, really work through it, do the journaling. We can also do anger workouts, which are really great. So anger workouts are where we are able to feel the anger, let it process through the body, and release it in a healthy way rather than keeping it stuffed in and then having little things kind of poke, 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 and then we have the big explosion, right? So we want to work through the anger. And that the anger works out. Great way to do it. I had mentioned before about standing in Superman pose. So again, the same thing rings true for the solar plexus. When we stand in the Superman pose with our hands on our hips and just stand straight. So this was in our root chakra. We can do it for the solar plexus as well. This helps build your confidence. And doing what you enjoy helps build that confidence. So just having that moment to find you. Um, you know, taking time and also building boundaries. We talked about boundaries in the root chakra. Every chakra does need boundaries, and this one is no exception. So I want you to focus on building even bigger boundaries within our solar plexus, because it is more of a vulnerable space where we do take on energy from other people, especially for an empath. So every day, I want you just to kind of imagine building a little bubble around your stomach. You can make the bubble really big, like I've done for my grounding meditations, and really build this beautiful bubble around yourself as a protection. But you can double up on that bubble and put more around your stomach area, just to help protect. And, you can just say a little mantra in the morning, just imagining kind of this bubble around you, and just say, I ask for guidance and protection around myself for the highest and greatest good, only allowing energy in that is serving and not allowing any energy in that is non-serving for me today. So really connecting more with like your own self and being able to say, no, I do not want this. No, this energy does not feel good to me. No, I don't want to participate in these things. You get to decide what feels good for you. So we always have that saying of listen to your gut. Well, this is it. This is your soul. This is your self really coming forward. So when your gut speaks, it's really telling you what the answer is. And when the gut speaks, it's always like that first intuition, that first thing that comes forward that's not attached to emotion. So that's when you know that this is something that I need to listen to. So take heed, listen to your gut. That is your inner voice telling you what you should be doing. So the crystals that we use for the solar plexus, think yellow. So yellow citrine, yellow topaz, yellow agates, anything that's a yellow. You can also use amber as well. Essential oils, we would use lemon, lavender, rosewood, chamomile, rosemary, blood orange, anything kind of citrusy. And then your fruits or the foods, fruits are really great. And veggies, fruits and veggies are super great for the solar plexus. Think about yellow ones. So maybe bananas, peppers, papayas, mango. So anything that's yellow, pineapple, and really giving yourself like super nutritious foods feeds that soul, and it really thrives on yummy, nutritious foods. So now we are at the end of the solar plexus. Again, this is just such a beautiful chakra. And I do see both imbalances quite often with clients, and I love to be able to help you regain a connection to yourself, and feel more empowered and come back into your soul self. I think it's really beautiful when you can start doing that. So I want you to discover yourself today. So we're going to do a little connection with the solar plexus. So I want you to take a seat and take a nice big deep breath in and let it go. And as you breathe in on your next breath, we're going to bring that breath all the way down to your belly. You put your hand on your belly because this one really helps if you're touching the belly. So breathe into the belly, feeling it expand, and breathe out and letting it shrink back down. And let's do that again. Let's breathe into the belly, let it expand, and breathe out and let it go. Wonderful. And now, as you sit with your hand on your belly, I want you just to take a moment and connect with your solar plexus. Can you feel any connection with your solar plexus today? Do you sense any emotions, any color? Is there anything else connecting with that solar plexus in this moment? Do you maybe your inner child is there? Did your inner child show up? Breathing slowly and gently into the solar plexus and just having a moment connecting. And as you connect with that solar plexus, I want you to say the words, I can. I can. This is a beautiful connection with yourself, and you can do things. Beautiful. Okay, now let's take a deep breath in and let it go. And just bring yourself back into this moment. Very good. Now, I hope this helps you connect with your solar plexus today. And we will see you tomorrow for the beautiful heart chakra. And we'll talk to you guys later.